audience, people across the grand spectrums of time and the multiverse. My name is not important. And today we will be answering the question of, okay, so now we know what the alt-right are. How do we defeat them? Well, obviously I am not a political advisor. But in a way, that means that the advice I have to offer is far more useful to you personally. You see, I have had dealings with the alt-right, or rather the alt-right have had a lot of dealings with me. They are obsessed with me, or at least a certain subsection of them are. And as a result, I have discovered certain things about the alt-right. The first one of which is that the alt-right spot weaknesses and they will go immediately for it. They are thus fairly easy to trap and manipulate. I genuinely, I think this is why women feminists get so much shit, and why, to a certain extent, this is why I think they have fallen into the kind of bigoted free speech movement, because these are the trolls, right? Or at least trolls have become the alt-right, and the alt-right are trolls, in the sense that anything that looks like a sign of weakness, anything that suggests, say this to annoy, frustrate, and hurt me, they will immediately say it, right? I think Terry Pratchett said it best in one of his Discworld books when he said that if there was a button marked "Do not push, it will cause the end of the universe," then immediately it would be pushed by absolutely fucking everyone. And that is just the way the alt-right are. If you have something that they regard as a weakness, if you say, "Hey guys, please, this is quite an upsetting thing," then they will go, attack. And this is the problem that I fall into, because with normal people, right, if someone's being problematic, right, what you want to do is clear up the confusion, clear up the situation, come to some kind of peaceful accord, find a way forward, right? But with the alt-right, the moment you open up a dialogue, you are painting a great big target on yourself, saying, "Manipulate me! I am weak and vulnerable." And this is quite hard to adapt to, at least it can be. Because the alt-right are not all foaming at the mouth, kill yourself, fascist bastards. To be honest, it would be a lot simpler if they were. The alt-right aren't smart, but they are they operate on a kind of hive intelligence, because they are people who live on secret fucking message boards, on anonymous message boards. They only ever operate through sort of third-party sock puppet accounts. And they talk repeatedly. They discuss the most shocking, most outrageous things. They want to come up with the most perfect way to get to a person and find out their weakness and exploit that weakness, or that perceived weakness. And so therefore they it's kind of like, there's a sort of, split beam experiment for sort of quantum mechanics, whereby sort of like the alt-right will attack in a wave of just a barrage of stuff. Some people will try to just do the out-and-out attack of kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. Some people will attack in the memes. It's not worth it, it's not worth it. And some people will try to be your friends. You know, it reminds me of sort of Withnail and I, where Withnail is like, no, it's too late, I'll be dead by then. We'll have to try and make friends with him. It's sort of it's that sort of like, you know, different people forming different parts of the swarm, trying different approaches, because they can smell weakness. They can see that there's weakness there. They need to zero in on how to exploit it. And so any kind of response will be given as weakness. Will be given as attack here, it's working, it's working. It will be interpreted as some kind of success. So you don't turn off your comments. You don't do approved comments. You don't disable comments. You leave your comments open. You let your comments fill up with shit. Because that's normal. Because that's not showing a sign. Because if you ignore your comments, that's you not giving a shit. That's you not showing a sign of weakness. And that's you saying that, hey, your shit isn't working. And then you need to completely ignore everything they say. And this is why actually Twitter is kind of more effective than Facebook. Because Facebook is very good in terms of privacy controls and whatever, and it will let you block. And thus, because Facebook is more effective at silencing those who would oppose you, it's more of a juicy target. Because you see, with Twitter, if someone's being annoying, if an alt-right is being a cunt to you, then you block them, and it doesn't stop them tweeting. It doesn't stop their friends tweeting, but it just stops you specifically getting that. So that way you are just saying, hey, I'm not weak in this situation. Whereas on Facebook, because it is so totally privacy controlled, when you block them, they literally cannot see you on Facebook anymore. They will not be able to see any of your posts, whatever. The only way they will be able to have any sign of you is if they are friends with other people who are commenting on your stuff. And so therefore what happens on Facebook, because its privacy controls are so good, the alt-right will sense a weakness and will go to exploit it. And the way they will go to exploit it on Facebook is through getting on to your friends. And this is basically why you never want to fucking add anyone to your Facebook that you do not fucking know and that you do not fucking trust. And never fucking add anyone with your last fucking name. Never do that. Because all you are doing then is you are basically allowing other people to... And there are things like, you know, you can search for images of a person's face using Google, and it will search the image for all the other images on the internet. So if someone has their Facebook profile set to public, and they happen to have a picture of you from a sort of a family gathering or whatever, that's going to turn up in the search results, and they're going to see someone with, you know, they're going to see a weak spot where they can get access to info of you. And as I have seen, you know, myself just recently, the alt-right are really kind of obsessive in their dedication to what they perceive as bringing a person down. or dedication to a joke, if you want to, you know, look at it in that perspective, in the sense that these are people who have spent, who have studied seemingly a like 30,000 word piece of dog shit fanfic that I wrote in order to try and essentially create a forgery that would get someone who I happen to kind of distantly through a sort of fan group on Facebook that no longer exists, and the bullshit that happened around that, who I sort of happen to distantly know. They essentially created a forgery through studying this 30,000 word piece of shit fanfic, working presumably insanely hard at doing something incredibly stupid and pointless, just to discuss this, to discuss and insult and make horrified this person that I only barely know, because that was the only possible weakness that they saw left. Right, because at this point, I don't give a shit, right, about the shit they send in the post, because it's like, more evidence for the police. Sooner or later, you will be caught. Yes, more fingerprints. We will get you. You know, I at this point, I know they aren't gonna fucking come and hurt me in real life, because if they did, then they would be arrested. Because it's like, you're not hiding behind the fucking third parties now, are you? You're not hiding behind a fucking alt-right fucking alternative sock puppet account now, are you? No, now you're actually trying to come and stab me. Now you're fucking vulnerable, you shithead. And now I've allowed all the comments, so they can't get to me, because I'm just not reading the comments. There is no war here. There is no sense of what their words mattering. You know, and to be honest, at this point, yeah, I have my sort of protected sphere of friends and what have you, and they know the score, they know what's going on, and those who don't, they understand that if a tide of shit-headed trolls washes over them, that that's not my problem. So there isn't really anything at this point that the alt-right can do to me, which of course is the other problem, which is that the alt-right will see things as a challenge. Okay, which is that, you know, they will attack instantly at weakness, but they also will attack at what they see as a challenge. So this is why you cannot afford to engage with the alt-right at all. And this is why, in a way, this is quite a dangerous video to make, except for the fact that pretty much there is no way that they can attack me, right? It's you know, it's just, more bullshit. They will attack with more bullshit. Or they will try to hack in through fucking Google, you know. And ironically, here is where sort of Asperger syndrome is a great help, because like the weak spot of kind of Google and Facebook and Twitter isn't actually hacking into it. It's the nut behind the wheel. You know, it's social engineering, right? And social engineering essentially is the idea that you can phone someone up, and if you are confident enough, you can essentially bluff your way through them giving you personal details. And so what you do then is you make sure that if you are creating your accounts, that there are no such personal details, that there are no ways in which social engineering can be used to compromise your security. And to be honest, that one attack they made was the one fucking attack was the fucking fanfic. That was a hell of a lot of time spent on one basically failed attack. Like, yeah, you got me to make a couple of videos. Clap, clap, right? But in so doing, you basically burnt the last fucking ammunition that you had. And it's kind of like, at this point now, people know. We all know what the fucking alt-right are. For God's sake, Trump is fucking talking about you in the fucking White House. There are fucking protests. The majority of America actually voted against Donald Trump, and the majority of America is actually very angry that the alt-right has any kind of power. And here's sort of one last little thing. Before I sort of leave off this video, you know, how do we get the alt-right? How do we defeat the alt-right? Well, I've been talking to you about how we defeat the alt-right on social media, about how they are essentially people who will target weakness and who will feel like they are being challenged to press their might to try and bring someone down, right? And this is why, to a certain extent, someone like me, who has already got a reputation as being a stupid idiot, who's written a whole load of disgusting shit, and, you know, who's quite open and honest about all my failings, is a damn sight more protected than someone who is some Lord High, brilliant, whatever. Because if you are someone who is a nice, kind person, if you are someone who doesn't have any skeletons in the closet, then people are gonna believe rumors of skeletons in the closet because, well, nobody can be that good, right? And this is where, to a certain extent, ultra privacy is a downfall. And that, yes, I have no doubt affected my chances of getting a job because I have put so much of myself out there and mistakes have been made. But at this point, like, there isn't anything that they can do to me that I haven't already done to myself. And if that was going to destroy me, it would have already happened. Right? Whereas, if you are someone who has a spotless reputation, then the alt-right can and will try to destroy it. So, what about politically? What about Trump? Because we can't just, you know, ignore him, let his comments fly past. Well, here's the thing. America already fought a civil war over the right of racists to be racist. And Britain and Europe in general kind of fought a great world war against sort of Nazi bastards. So you see, as far as I'm concerned, all of this screaming and campaigning and abuse by the alt-right, it's kind of like the turkeys naively trying to put up a fight because, hey, Christmas is coming. And they're for the chop. Because, you see, racists don't win. They just don't, right? Like, yes, Brexit happened. But Brexit was because, essentially, neoliberalism fucked up Greece. And neoliberalism was holding back a lot of politicians. It would have held back Jeremy Corbyn. You know, it's like, hey, we've finally got a socialist. Shit, European Union. And Donald Trump, you know, yeah, he's a fucking bastard racist. But A, he only won because of the Electoral College and the majority actually didn't vote for him. B, he could still be impeached. C, the Electoral College doesn't have to vote for who they say they will. I mean, for God's sake, you know, the Electoral College is already going against the popular will of the people. It's not really fucking with the system if they decide to go with the popular will of the people and, you know, come December, vote in Hillary Clinton instead, in which case, bye-bye Trump. D, Hillary Clinton was an establishment candidate. Hillary Clinton was privileged, was the democratic nominee that the establishment wanted. She is a fucking Republican light. You know, she's the Ed Miliband of America. And he just lose. They just do. Right? If you look at the path of sort of history, right? At every stage, racists kind of they win for a bit right up until the moment they get curb stomped. And do you know what it is? It's because if the racists lose, then they just have to shut their fucking gobs about their racist thoughts, and they get to go and continue on living. Whereas, if the racists win, a whole lot of people are going to die. A whole lot of people are going to be abused. In other words, you know, these people like to talk about the great man theory of history. They like to talk about the idea of, you know, sort of wooden sandals going upstairs and silk slippers going downstairs. You know, the idea that sort of harsh barbarism makes you into a mighty empire and then you sort of become decadent and you fall down. Well, if that's the case, that logic is in favor of liberalism. That logic is in favor of leftism. That logic is in favor of feminism and of Black Lives Mattering. Because the silk slippers in this situation are the racists. Because they are the people who really don't have very much to fight for. They will lose. They will lose. If this comes to a war, they will get their heads kicked in so fucking mightily. When we talk about Donald Trump being the next Hitler, we aren't just talking about him setting up concentration camps and committing great, terrible atrocities. When we talk about Donald Trump being Hitler, we mean if he does this, he's going to get his head kicked in. If he does this, his party will be destroyed. His party will be hung up for fucking war crimes. His party will be held up for crimes against humanity and they will be executed. The alt-right have stood up atop a mighty podium and stuck a great big target on their heads and said, "Come on, rest of the world, have at me!" And I bet they're going to be awfully surprised when they are having at. See, that would have sounded a whole lot cooler if I had actually pronounced that better, or indeed scripted it. But I don't script things because I can't act for toffee. Anyway, yes, the alt-right are going to lose. A lot of people may have to die first, including a lot of the alt-right, but the alt-right are going to lose. There is no way they can win this, not in the long term. So anyway, you know who I've been. Goodbye. Thank you to all my Patreons at patreon.com for helping to make videos like this possible. If you wish to leave a like or dislike to rate the video for my analytics, that would be much appreciated. Comments are always welcome, though be aware that they will be moderated before being published, so please be civil. If you liked this video, please consider adding it to your favourites, sharing it to your friends, or subscribing. If you wish to help me out, or my channels, please consider whitelisting my videos in your adblock software, subscribing for monthly donations through Patreon, or giving a small one-off donation. Alternatively, I have a Steam wishlist for games I would consider let's playing or streaming, so if you would like to see me broken before the Dark Souls altar, or just happen to have gotten a duplicate of a game in a humble bundle, then you know what to do. I also have an official Facebook fan page, Twitter account, Tumblr, Reddit and blog, so you can stay up to date with all of my videos, blog articles and the things I care about. Links are in the video description. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I think that all that now needs to be said is ban all guns, institute universal basic income now, and ensure government is elected by proportional representation. Oh, and also, fuck the racists and fuck the alt-right. It is a reward for Patreons that who donate $5 or more, that they get thanks for donating $5 or more to my Patreon, and I haven't been doing that because I'm sort of shit at things, and so I am going to be thanking all the people who have donated $5 or more, basically for all time so far, and this is going to be re-recorded every time someone else donates $5 more in future. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. Thank you to Michael Hamilton Fletcher, who donated on September the 13th, 2015. And thank you to Marcus Anthony Infante, who pledged $5 on September the 3rd, 2016, and thank you to Henry Wotton, who pledged $5 on September the 8th, 2016. Thank you to both of you, lovely, to all three of you, lovely people, and I will indeed be remembering to keep actually rewarding my Patreons for, you know, donating money to keep me alive, because that's nice, and because I have seen people complaining that, well, you know, this link to send you care packages from Amazon, all of the things on the wish list are really expensive. Yeah, well, you know, you can just give me money as well. That would be appreciated. So Patreons, thank you. You are lovely, wonderful. Apologies that you watch my videos, because I'm a sort of grotesque flesh golem of idiocy. Why? Why? But anyway, thank you. Also, thanks to Martin Hebe, Cestrian vlogger, for pledging $5 a month on Patreon.